Hey.
Welcome back.
Hi. I think
I need one of those satisfying videos.
Okay, hello, Sailor.
Oh, hi. Hi, everybody.
Taylor, he's bullying me.
I'm sorry to hear that, little one. Hey. So, can you hear me? Is everything?
Yeah,
oh,
we can
okay.
hear you.
All right,
Cool.
cool.
I don't know.
I
haven't looked
I
at
just
the
saw
stream.
Zenith's message in chat. Okay. So that one was my internet. That one was me.
Okay.
Can we get
Man.
part 4? Don't worry, bro. If you stick
Yeah.
around long enough, you'll get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
That one
Man
was
plans,
me.
God laughs.
That one was my internet did shut off. It kicked back on pretty shortly afterwards, but it takes a second to reboot with the stream going on and everything like that. But yeah. my Wi-Fi did kick out there. Hopefully everything is okay now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete that other part 2 because that was only like 4 minutes. Hey, let's hope this one lasts longer. This will just be part 2. So just to wrap up our thoughts on One Piece, we thought it was a very good chapter, and now we're moving on to Jujutsu Kaisen. I want to give people a little bit more time to come on in here now.
Finally, part 2.
Yeah, this is Attack on Titan for real, no cap. All right. It looks like people are coming in. Man, thank you guys so much for putting up with us. What?
We should, like, Sailor, for the podcast, we should play like mobile game ads or satisfying videos like on the bottom half of the screen.
He said that every time he talks to me, he needs a mobile game ad to be played underneath me so he can pay attention.
Oh my god. Yeah, maybe that's the come up. Maybe.
Keep people more invested.
But so I totally agree to hold on, let me rewrite my notes again because this timestamp is wrong. I totally agree with what everyone was saying before we were so rudely interrupted. This was all over the place. I think this might be my least favorite chapter in a good bit. Not to say that I hated it or anything, but this just felt like such a weird read. Yuji lashing out at Hana and then that quickly being like, well, I was scared that Nobara would be replaced, which, like, you know, fair, save a spot for the queen. But then immediately afterwards, like, oh, it's cool, let's go, like, let's just talk things out again and we're fine again. And it's like, oh, all right. I thought, like, oh, what if this is all just a swerve to be like, because Megami mentions in that conversation, like, when you were saying the things you were saying back there, you were talking to Angel and Sukuna, weren't you? So I was thinking, like, oh, what if Hana heard that or some shit? But I feel like she'd be reacting way differently if she did. So I don't know. I just think this is super all over the place, like everybody else said. The one panel of Hana saving the guy, a reference to the famous painting, that was cool.
God, that freaked me the hell out. I was like, what the hell am I reading?
The rest of this chapter freaked me the fuck out, at least with Hana's backstory. That curse is ugly as shit.
Well, that too.
Cool design.
Yeah.
For a chapter that shows her backstory, it wasn't presented the best. But I still do like it. I think it's a good backstory.
Bro, this isn't a backstory. These are basically like just sticky notes just being placed in the chapter.
I gotta say, this is one extremely rare case where I like the official translation more than the unofficial, because the
JJK's
conversation
officials are usually way better, in my opinion.
Oh,
not with JJK.
Yeah. I've noticed that JJK a lot of times has just weird translations, but this one I like it where Yuji and Hana, and when he's talking to Angel and he just like, you know, whatever, I don't trust you. In the unofficial, she goes, "Are you talking to me or Angel? Because that's disgusting." And like I read it and I was just like, huh? Like, what? What are you talking? I don't get it. But in this, she's just like, oh, it's unpleasant. And I'm like, all right, that makes slightly more sense.
Usually I like the officials for JJK more. We do have the occasional patricide translation. But usually I prefer the officials more, just because, God, I am so used to just bad JJK scans. I'm so thankful to just have official ones, and like I said, most of the time they're good. There are misses, don't get me wrong, and we will talk about them. We have talked about them, but yeah, I enjoy.
I have a question for everyone here. How important do you guys think Hana's actually going to be?
I think
it'll be a real bummer when she dies. I think she's gonna die without ever getting laid.
Damn. I think she's probably gonna be important. Just because of how.
No,
similar...
I think she'll be important.
No, I mean, like, obviously, because Angel and all that stuff, get Gojo out of the box. But just for what Akutami is setting up with the similarities between her and Megumi, like, even sort of similar to Yuji, where Yuji's like, we need to save these people, and Hana wants to do the same thing. But Megumi more so is just like, I'm going to save the people who I want. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I just want to protect things. Angel, at least from what we've seen, or not Angel, Hana, from what we've seen so far anyway, seems to have a similar thing, but she's saying like, what did she say? Let me pull up the chapter again. Those aren't my downloaded chapters. Jujutsu Kaisen. There you are. That's a different thing. No. Okay. She said, "Fate is all. I believe we would someday meet again." So, it more so seems like to her, things are tied to fate, and things have a specific order, and Megumi doesn't really believe in that. He's more so like, I don't care about doing what needs to be done, or protecting people, or blah blah blah, or like protecting people that all need it. I just want to protect the people I care about, and that's pretty much it. So I feel like, just for the similarities between the characters, I feel like she'll be important, but I don't know, she could just fucking die.
I know I was.
Okay, that's a good answer.
I knew I was real confused when I already started reading the chapter, because the way it just started off, I was like, let me go back the last chapter just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And it's like, nope, I didn't. And here we are. And I'm just as confused now.
Yeah. I already, like, even just the quick cut to, oh, we beat up all the military and we're questioning them and we're moving on. It was like, oh, okay, damn, all right. Like, I thought we were setting up for, like, obviously it wasn't gonna be a close fight or anything, but like a little skirmish.
Classic, like, his hand pose and everything, which I love, by the way, because he always does it in like every single official piece of art ever. It's the only pose he does, and then we just don't get anything.
Yeah, I thought for sure we'd see him like show off a bit, but no. Nah, not so much, unfortunately.
Well, I guess we didn't need to waste time with it.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, Yuji, being Himi Turner, decides we're just gonna save everybody. Fuck it. And he goes off, him and Megumi, they go off on their own, and like we mentioned, they, talk about the stuff. And then Hana's like, hey, it's cool. That's it. All right, cool. I really like the bit with the one military dude where he's talking about how, like, this death isn't natural, as a real big callback to Yuji, my goat, my legend. So that was interesting. We got Nobara and Gojo content in 2023. I like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I take crumbs. I can get them piece by piece.
Yes, sir. Honestly, I don't have much else to say. I don't really have much else to say for this chapter. This chapter, while I certainly don't think it was bad, I do believe it's the worst JJK chapter we've gotten in quite some time, in my opinion.
It's just
my hopes were rather high, because what was it? Because sometimes I'll get swallowed on some things, but it was like what's it? So someone like already showed like a panel of like this chapter, and it was basically of Nobara, and it was just like, don't do that, don't give me hope. And
Yeah.
it's just like, well,
Yeah.
obviously I shouldn't have had it.
Damn it.
Silver, what do you think of the JJK chapter?
I mean, pretty much the same thoughts as all of you. Like, I thought it was really disjointed as hell, but.
Can I be a hater for a minute?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
By
Yes,
all
I
means.
endorse it.
Go
Feel
ahead.
free to
Cook up,
disagree
cook
with
up.
me, call me a hater, because I am being just unreasonable. I'm gonna hate.
Yeah.
I think
Fair.
Hana's haircut fucking lame.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Hana's
agree.
haircut's so lame. I don't like her haircut.
I
You don't like the
agree.
swirls?
No, I
I've
don't.
gotten used
Okay.
to it. I will say I've just
I
come
like the
to
rest of
accept
her
it.
design with
But
like
yeah,
the
she
sweater
is
and the
good.
wings, the halo. It looks all really cool. Maybe once I see
I-
like it in color, like in the anime, I'll like it more. But just the way it's drawn,
I
I don't
thought
really like
it
it.
was fine when I was under the impression she was a reincarnated sorcerer. So like, they're all
Yeah.
old fucks. They all look weird. But no,
They got
she's
the
just a
fucking
modern
haircut.
day teenage girl. She's got no excuse to be walking around. Dry as fuck, no trim.
No
whatsoever.
trim. Yeah. God
Yeah,
damn.
If I had to say there was one thing I liked about this chapter, is what we got on page 6. It's where it's like Yuji, he's determined to save these soldiers, and despite what like Angel saying is like yeah, so what? He's like he's ready to square up with her against it.
Yeah.
Point.
And I thought it was kind of cool. Although I think I like the unofficial version better, because like he first part he's just like so what, and then like the second time it's like yeah, so what? Like
Yeah.
honestly, I thought that was a little cooler.
Yeah.
I also really like the
man's
curse,
him.
like fishing with the bodies.
Yeah,
it's-
that was
that's
really cool.
Dude, that shit. Ugh. I mean, like, I will say the
It's
artwork for
alive,
this chapter
yeah.
is great.
Gruesome.
Yeah, like the
Well, it's like,
the fish hook
it's-
through the shoulder. Ah.
I think it's cool
Cringe.
because like curses are kind of like, in general, they are mostly like fodder enemies nowadays. So it's like
Yeah.
it kind of like they're just a weird looking monster now. Like most of them, obviously, unless they're like a talking one that's like a major enemy. So it's kind of just cool to see one just be like a creepy fucking thing that does weird shit.
kind of have a personality.
Exactly, like it's cool because I
Mhm.
feel like we had that sort of thing like a little more early on. Like this is a more extreme, like a cooler case of it. But like like Agutami had to be more creative with it when it was just like normal curses. And he had to
Mhm.
present them interestingly. So it's cool
Yeah.
to see stuff like that.
I feel like
what was
now
the-
we can definitely let curses just be like as gross and as disgusting and as creative as possible, because it just creates all of the, because like beforehand it was like you were saying, like we're fighting against curses and you already have the disaster curses show up and all that stuff, and it's like, oh well, we got to fight against Mahito, and there's Kenjaku who's like lurking in the background, there's Jogo, there's Hanami, or not Hanami,
It's
fuck-
Hanami.
Hanami? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hanami.
Take
Okay,
on.
cool. Thank you. But yeah, we got to fight against these guys. Dagon gets introduced later. There's Choso, all his brothers. Like now we can just have cursed spirits. Like this brings me back to what's brought up at the beginning of the manga, where it's like a bunch of people go missing each year because of curses. I think like 10,000 people per year go missing, and it's just
damn.
because of curses. Yeah, it's a lot. And it just sort of brings back like the creepy vibe. Like it's reminding you just like how creepy shit is, and it goes back to what Yuji was saying, like this shit, like dying this way is not natural at all. And I'm happy it was brought up in this chapter where like homeboy was saying like, listen, I'm a soldier, I'm prepared to give my life and die. This ain't it though. Like what the fuck is this? Like
I
this,
didn't sign up for this.
this
bro.
doesn't
Not
make
this.
sense. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. What is going on here? So I like that shit. Yeah, it's very good.
So real quick, I just want to ask, just to double check, just to make sure I'm on the same page as everyone else.
Okay.
Okay.
I
yeah.
met a boy and his dog. That's it.
Yeah.
My life changed forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, assumedly, I think
And
it
the
was
king's
probably
swag.
something where like sorcerers came in and killed the thing, and like she followed the dog to safety because Megami was there. I'm sure that all the like that cursed spirit died, but it's like, yeah, it's the thing that's really, because here's the thing, JJK, this is JJK. It's no stranger to these like weird chapters. The two that stick out in my mind are both panda ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obvious. There's the obvious one where it's like, why the hell are we getting this